The coalition government has promised a better life for all Guyanese. On Guyana 411 this week, we take a look at what Budget 2016 has to offer. I'm Shivani Ramprasad. Stay tuned. Citizens can now expect a better quality of health care as the Ministry of Public Health has been allocated $28 billion in the 2016 national budget.
Guyanese will now benefit from a higher quality of health care, along with improved facilities, as approximately 11% of the 2016 national budget was allocated for the improvement of the sector. This money will be spent on the general upgrades of several healthcare facilities, along with various problematic areas, such as maternal and child health, non-communicable diseases, the present threat of the H1N1 and Zika viruses, drug procurement, and suicide.
Prioritizing investment in health is a key input towards achieving human resource productivity, an essential element for sustainable development. In affirming government's commitment to ensure that the people of Guyana are among the healthiest in the Caribbean and the Americas, strategic investments will be made in the health sector as it embarks on implementing Health Vision 2020. To this end, over $22.1 billion, or 9.5% of the budget, was expended in this sector in 2015. This year, we project to spend $28 billion, or 10.9% of the budget. Mr. Speaker, as a nation, we are traumatized by the high incidence of suicide. We are alarmed by the number of maternal and infant deaths, many of them avoidable. We are concerned about the lack of attention paid by many of our citizenry to adopting a healthy lifestyle in the face of chronic non-communicable diseases. We are acutely aware of the recent emerging and now present threat of the H1N1 and Zika viruses, among others. Together, these place undue burdens on our healthcare system, which is already stretched in the effort to deliver universal healthcare coverage and attain our targets within Goal 3 of the Sustainable Development Goals.
This allocation, which is a $5.9 billion increase from 2015, will see special attention being given to suicide. A commission of inquiry will be set up, after which an emergency suicide prevention plan of action will be developed. To address the expanding range of services and coverage being given to citizens across the country, over $6.5 billion has been allocated for drugs and related consumable medical supplies. Over $89 million has been earmarked for the expansion of the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation's maternity unit. Additionally, this year's allocation will facilitate the purchase of equipment such as portable ultrasound machines with the aim of increasing the quality of services being offered at the institution's maternal and child health facility. $1.9 billion has been allocated for the upgrade and completion of infrastructural work on several healthcare facilities. This includes the mobilization for the construction of the state-of-the-art specialty surgical hospital at Liliendal, a 10-bed cardiac theater, an intensive care unit at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, various works at hospitals at Port Kaituma, Kwakwani, and Linden, and diagnostic centers at Diamond and Leonora. Additionally, over $1 billion, doubling last year's allocation, will be spent on the purchase and maintenance of medical equipment.
The sum of $40.3 billion has been set aside in the 2016 national budget for Guyana's education sector. According to Minister of Finance Winston Jordan, government wants to fulfill its mandate of providing quality education for students countrywide.
According to Minister Jordan, a number of steps are to be implemented for early childhood education.
In an effort to improve literacy and numeracy at the nursery level, several initiatives will be pursued in 2016. Early childhood education resource kits and teachers' manuals will be procured and distributed to all nurseries and grade 1 classes in the hinterland regions and targeted riverine areas. The kit contains resources that explicitly target numeracy, science and inquiry, dramatic play and music, art and craft, and social studies, thereby providing the foundational tools for appreciation of culture and arts at a young age.
Minister Jordan noted that the quality of education delivered to students is pivotal to the children of Guyana. Hence, a number of measures are in place.
Equipping our teachers in classrooms to ensure more effective subject delivery continues to be a priority. In an attempt to address the increasing rate of psychosocial problems in our schools, teachers will be trained with the requisite competencies and techniques to lend support to our school welfare officers.
A number of schools in the hinterland are expected to be rehabilitated.
A sum of $4.3 billion has been allocated to continue infrastructure, construction, rehabilitation, and repairs. Included in this program are the completion of Kato Secondary Complex, which is intended to ease the overcrowding at Paramacatai and provide full secondary education for many students in primary tops.
The budget also contains a number of other initiatives aimed at producing well-rounded and productive individuals. These include upgrading the University of Guyana, providing better training for teachers, and providing hinterland students with breakfast and books.
Guyana's disadvantaged groups, especially the elderly, children, and women, continue to attract government's attention. Several initiatives aimed at enhancing the lives of these groups will be implemented in 2016, as provided for in the national budget.
The family is an important institution, and government is aware of the immense value that is to be garnered from families and the important role that strong and stable families play in our society. This year, much focus will be placed on child care and protection to increase interagency and professional collaboration, to enhance the provision of family assistance and support for children in need of alternative care.
To this end, the Child Care and Protection Agency will be working with stakeholders to document a national policy for such children. It will focus on areas of supporting, protecting, and caring for children. And further, the Family Commission, in collaboration with the Child Care Protection Agency, will create family-friendly and educationally interactive child-friendly spaces at which there will also be support for families with children who have developmental disabilities.
There will be awareness of the plight of children who suffer abuse, with the hope of putting an end to this gruesome act. The Child Care and Protection Agency will also be launching a national early childhood development sensitization program for parents and caregivers. This is aimed at providing the relevant knowledge and skills to support early learning. To further promote and enhance family relations, efforts will be made to ensure that children who are institutionalized are either returned to their parents or are provided with a family-like setting. Meanwhile, a holistic approach is being taken to address the needs of Guyana's senior citizens. Over 50,000 pensioners will benefit from an old age pension increase that will take their amount to $18,200 as against the $17,000 they are receiving.
Mr. Speaker, I propose the following specific measures in support of the elderly segment of our population. 1. I propose to increase the pensions payable to ex-employees of Guyana Telecommunications Corporation. These pensioners have waged a prolonged struggle to get their correct pension, but were denied by the past regime. The increases will be effective from April 1, 2016. Effective April 1, 2016, old age pension will increase from $17,000 to $18,200. Nearly 50,000 pensioners are expected to benefit. Mr. Speaker, in the short space of 8 months, this coalition government has been able to increase old age pension by 38.7%. The largest increase in recent memory, and a testimony to our commitment to govern in the interest of all Guyanese.
In 2016, systems will be put in place to further enhance and modernize the old age pension system through consultations and testing for an electronic payment system, with full implementation in all 10 administrative regions by 2017. Additionally, public assistance will be increased from $6,500 to $7,300. Over 9,600 persons will benefit from an almost 24% increase since government took office.
Government will continue efforts to fully integrate persons with disabilities into our society and provide them with the care and attention they deserve. As such, the government has embarked upon several initiatives such as the Ramps and Yellow Border project, which entails the installation of ramps and stair lifts at public and private buildings and painting yellow borders on stairs to guide the visually impaired.
In an effort to ensure that persons with disabilities receive their benefits throughout the year without interruption or delays, the Social Protection Ministry will be issuing a one-year public assistance booklet to persons with permanent disabilities.
The proposed budgetary allocation for 2016 lays the foundation for the transformation of the country's infrastructure.
$1.6 billion has been proposed for the development of waterfront facilities directly impacting Kitty, Kingston, Stabroek, Vredenhoop, Soupnam, and Skeldon. The initiative will serve as a recreational and a tourist attraction and will create opportunities for small business development.
We have budgeted $14.4 billion to continue the upgrade, expansion, and rehabilitation of our network of roads and bridges. The government is finalizing negotiations with the government of China for the construction of the East Coast Highway from Better Hope to Belfield. In collaboration with the IDB, the government will this year conduct studies and designs for an improved East Coast Railway Embankment Road, entailing the construction of bridges between Sheriff Street and Mahiko, the upgrade of the current embankment road from Sheriff Street to Enmore, and the extension of the embankment road from Enmore to Mahiko. Additionally, we will be investing over $5 billion in the reconstruction of Sheriff Street that will facilitate improved traffic safety features, including pedestrian overhead crossings at strategic locations.
Focus is also being placed on hinterland development.
Addressing the deplorable and underdeveloped infrastructural facilities in the hinterland region is paramount on the government's infrastructure development agenda. The government will pursue several initiatives in an effort to expand the integration of road networks into our intermediate savannas, thereby helping to bridge the divide between our vast rural and hinterland communities and the coastland. A total of $6.72 billion has been allocated for the improvement of hinterland, rural, and urban community roads in Bartiko, Madio, Aichuni Kokwani, Puruni Itabali, Mabaruma, and Port Kaichuma, Boramito, and the Sophia Ring Road, among others. In collaboration with the Inter-American Development Bank, we will commence activities to facilitate the complete rehabilitation of the 47-year-old Soesdijk-Linden Highway. In the meanwhile, critical works will be undertaken to preserve its upkeep. Concurrently, maintenance works will be undertaken on the Linden-Kokwani corridor. Over the longer term, we aim to fully pave this road so as to open access to communities in Aichuni, Arawaima, Kokwani, Ibini, Kimbio, and other remote areas along the Berbice River. A feasibility study for the reconstruction of the existing bridge, which links the communities of Wismar and Mackenzie, will also be carried out. An alternative link to Bartiko and other hinterland communities will be created when ongoing negotiations with our development partners to construct the Purika-Goshen Road are finalized. Additional resources have been made available to expand efforts currently being undertaken to improve farm-to-market access roads at Purika, Ruby, and Laluni. We are in discussions with the same donor for new farm access interventions in Triumph, Buxton, and Itiko in order to stimulate micro-farms and small-scale agro-processing initiatives.
Allocations have been proposed to improve river connections amongst the coast and riverine areas and remote regions.
The aging fleet of vessels must be replaced. In this regard, the government expects to conclude arrangements soon with the government of Inyo for financing to procure new river transport vessels. In addition, private financing is being explored for the purchase of at least 2 semi-new vessels. To complement spending on the new fleet of ferries, emphasis will be placed on navigational aids and improving stellings and wharves. To this end, The government has started preparations to access the the new United Kingdom Caribbean Infrastructure Fund to upgrade and reconstruct several facilities in Georgetown, Perico, Port Kaituma, Kumako, and Bartico, among other areas.
An allocation of $5.2 billion has been made for the continued development of the air services industry, including the expansion of the Chedijagan International Airport. $2 billion has been allocated for airstrips and airdromes improvement.
It allows persons to connect through by way of river transportation roads, amongst other things. And I must say that I'm happy to hear that at least we will have the continuation of the rehabilitative works on the Bartica Stelling, because, you know, the president's vision is to have Bartica made a township. So works will be continued there. I must say that works also will be done on two of our major ferry vessels. So works will continue on our road networks. And I was taken by surprise when I heard that at least we will see a continuation of the road network from Enmore heading way up to the Mahaika. So in terms of how things are going to be approached, I know for a fact that the jobs will be tendered out, and persons, contractors, they would allow to be to bid for those works. The contracts will be awarded, you know, fairly and by transparent means.
$6 billion has also been earmarked to erect and strengthen sea defense structures. This will be supported by the Mangrove Restoration Project and the Shore Zone Management Plan. Vision 2020, once implemented, will see Guyanese indeed living the good life due to improved infrastructure.
Over $24 billion to be spent on modernizing and enhancing the security sector.
Financing for the security sector was described by the finance minister as being cast in the shadow of continued threats to Guyana's sovereignty and territorial integrity. These threats, he said, have placed considerable financial strain on the country's financial resources, forcing the delay, alteration or curtailment of several projects and programs. The coalition government's focus in 2016 will be to build on the achievements of 2015 and to further expand the country's outreach, especially in the hemisphere and in Asia and Africa, through mutually beneficial cooperation programs.
We will continue to be actively engaged in the regional integration processes, especially CARICOM, UNISUR, CELAC, and Mercosur. We will also continue to promote the interests and concerns of Guyana at the international level, particularly in relation to the preservation of sovereignty and territorial integrity, human rights and democracy, climate change, and the pursuit of the 2030 agenda of the Sustainable Development Goals.
The coalition government will implement policies to secure citizens from the threat of national and transnational crimes, violence, and disorder. Through a series of measures and initiatives, the intention is to establish an environment of enhanced human safety and public security. These measures will include the recently launched $15 million Citizen Security Strengthening Program that focuses on skills training to improve community engagement and crime prevention.
The community-level crime prevention actions will target 20 communities based on homicide, burglary, robbery, and domestic violence rates, while vulnerability will be addressed through social prevention interventions. We will focus on developing a cadre of skills and capabilities among community members to address violence, unemployment, and counterproductive behavioral risk factors. We will equip the enforcement arms of the state with resources to enable them to serve our citizens, engender investor confidence, and build trust and goodwill in the business community. In 2015, we spent $21.1 billion to support the implementation of priority actions stemming from the strategic plans that were developed for the Ministry of Public Security, the Police Force, the Prison Service, and the Guyana Fire Service.
The passing of anti-money laundering legislation will bolster the fight against money laundering and the financing of terrorism.
In 2015, the National Assembly passed legislation and guidelines on terrorism and terrorist financing. Stemming from these actions, Guyana has fully satisfied 5 of the 8 elements of the action plan and partially satisfied the remaining 3. In December 2015, Guyana passed further amendments and regulations, including guidelines on freezing and providing access to frozen funds. These actions should result in Guyana satisfying the three partially met elements of the action plan. It should be noted that Guyana is among 11 countries that are currently listed in the FATF public statement as improving global AML CFT compliance ongoing process. This listing is referred to as the light grey list, and it indicates that though the country has strategic deficiencies with its AML CFT regime, it has provided a high level of political commitment to address the deficiencies through the implementation of an action plan developed with the FATF. Guyana has been encouraged to execute the action plan expeditiously and within the proposed time frame.
The finance minister also mentioned that a national risk assessment exercise with technical assistance and guidance from the World Bank has started. This move, he said, is a further demonstration of the APNU AFC government's commitment to combat money laundering and the financing of terrorism. In 2016, a total of $24.6 billion has been allocated for the development and modernization of the local security sector.
That has brought us to the end of Guyana 411 for this week. Check out our other programs on our website. We're also on Facebook and YouTube. I'm Shivani Rampasad. Have a great week ahead.